What is going on, guys? The Negro Shotty here, and today I'm going to be counting down the top 10 games of 2017. Before I get into this video, I need to go ahead and say that this list is a personal list, or just personal opinion. There's going to be certain games on this list that you might not agree with, and that's okay. This list is pretty much going to be compiled of the best games that I played this year, but also two of these games I haven't played completely, or I haven't played at all, but I know that they're great games just by word of mouth, and also by just me watching the gameplay. I can tell that it's a top-notch game. So I thought that one of those games, deserved to be on the list. But yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and have full disclosure and say that I have not played Persona 5, and I have not played Neo, but I have played Neo's beta, and I thought that I was amazing what I played from the beta. So getting into this list, and I kind of already spoiled two of the games on this list, so I might as well go ahead and kind of talk about them now. Persona 5 is going to be number 10, and Neo is going to be number 9. Now, the reason why Persona 5 is number 10 on my list personally, there's a reason actually why I did not buy Persona 5. I got into Persona 3 a few years ago, played that for the first time, and I completely understand why the fan base kind of loves those games. But the thing is that I feel like there is certain things in a JRPG that the developers in Japan seem to have not sort of kind of progressed and kind of made the progression a little bit better. Like, something that I really hated about Persona 3 that also Persona 5 does, from what I've seen and from what I've heard from a lot of people, is just the fact that Persona, it really takes the control away from you. There's a lot of talking. It's very slow. It's very slow to kind of get into the story and kind of get you away from like the tutorials and stuff. It's just really the progression and really the game just kind of taking the control away from you. Like, it's just certain elements of the game that kind of just made me stay away from the game personally. But I do like here's the thing, I like the battle system. I like the battle system from Persona 3, and for what I'm seeing from Persona 5, I definitely like their battle system. The game is stylish. If I could describe Persona 5 in one word, it would have to be stylish. It's a very stylish game. The music is amazing from what I've heard. The soundtrack is pretty great. I mean, this game is a fantastic RPG, and if you haven't played it yet, I can honestly recommend it. I have a friend that has poured like 100 hours into it, and I hope to eventually buy the game, but I just did not want to buy it when it came out, because I didn't really think that I was going to be able to really get into it at the time. And like I said, there were just certain things about the Persona series that I think Shin Megami Tensei will probably be something that I will kind of be able to get more into in comparison to Persona 5, because I think there's less stuff kind of getting in the way of the player, and there's a little bit more fantasy to it. But I do kind of like the social, I forgot what they call it, not the social links, but like the confidant system. I like the idea of that. So yeah, Persona 5, number 10 on my list. Neo is going to be number 9, like I said. Neo is a pretty good Dark Souls type of game. You know what's crazy with me, and I don't know if I said this on my channel yet, but if I haven't said it before, I don't like the Dark Souls games, and I don't like the Demon Souls games. But the crazy thing is like Lord of the Fallen, I actually was able to get into that, but I couldn't really get into like the Demon Souls games and stuff like that. And when I played the Neo Alpha and the Neo Beta, I was definitely into it. And the only reason I didn't buy the game when it came out, and the only reason I don't own the game now, is because I'm kind of waiting for a price drop. And I plan on hopefully getting it later down the line. Same thing with Bloodborne. I'm gonna try Bloodborne, since I've heard a lot of people say that that's a good game. But again, I don't really like the Demon Souls, Dark Souls games. Like, it's crazy to me because I feel like everyone else does what From Software does. I feel like they do it better. Like, the other developers are able to kind of put their own spin on the Dark Souls formula. And I forgot if it's Team Ninja or Ninja Theory that does Neo. I think it's Team Ninja because I keep getting them confused. But whoever did this, whether it's Team Ninja or Ninja Theory, I felt like the combat in that it very much remind you of like Onimusha, that type of stuff. So yeah, Neo is definitely gotta be on this list, and that's gonna be my number 9. So my number 8 game on this list is Nier Automata. Now, Nier Automata, this surprised me because I do not like Platinum Games. I think Platinum Games is horrible. I'm sorry, I think their games are overrated. I hate Bayonetta. I hate all that garbage that they be pouring out. They're one of the most overrated developers out there. But I will say that Nier Automata surprised the heck out of me because I love the first Nier game. And when I heard that the first Nier game was getting a sequel and that Platinum Games was going to be doing the sequel to Nier, I was so disappointed. But I was happy, but then I was also kind of disappointed at the same time. And the reason why I was disappointed was, of course, Platinum Games being the one to develop this game, and they have you know, Platinum Games have a very spotty track record, and so going into this game, I was very skeptical. But man, this game has one of the best RPG stories, and and I think it has the best. It has the best soundtrack. It has the best soundtrack of any game that I've ever played in this generation. Same thing actually with the prior game, with the first Nier. The first Nier had an amazing soundtrack, and so does Nier Automata. The combat's pretty good. It's not as deep as I would have liked it to be, and I think that's the reason why this game is so low on my list, is because the combat system. And I think that is something that Platinum Games kind of fails at, is the combat system. What Something I will say that I did like about this game is basically how weird it is. There's some really absurd and crazy stuff that's gonna go on in this game, and I'm not gonna spoil anything, but it's some Kojima level stuff in this joint. Like, if Kojima if Kojima could get his hands on Nier Automata, I think he would have done something kind of similar to what Yoko Taro, I guess that's how you pronounce the producer's name. But Yoko Taro, he is now one of my favorite developers out there from Japan. And this game was just an amazing RPG, amazing story. It was really more of an action RPG than a traditional RPG. But I enjoyed Nier. I think that's an amazing game. It has, like I said, it has a very great story, and I really recommend anyone pick it up. Alright, coming in at number 7 on the list is Horizon Zero Dawn by Guerrilla Games. And this game really surprised me, mainly because I didn't really like any of the Killzone games. I did not like Killzone Shadowfall. I liked the multiplayer of it, but the single player was horrible. So I was kind of surprised that I actually liked Horizon Zero Dawn quite a lot more than what I thought I would have. This game, the reason why Horizon Zero Dawn is so low on my list is because it started out strong. It really did. The story was very interesting. At least the whole part about what happened, what happened to the Earth and everything. Why the robots are there and everything like that. But everything outside of the story, right? Because there's these tribes in the game. The stuff with the tribes wasn't really interesting. I did not like some of the mechanical choices they did when it comes to the ammo in the game, because they're using different weapons, like different bows and stuff, and the tripcaster, all these different tools and stuff. I like the RPG elements, sort of, but I don't like the loot boxes and stuff you get in this game. I guess you can call them loot boxes. They have these random boxes that you can kind of pick up in this game. This game is one of best looking video games I've ever seen. It's right up there with Uncharted. Uh, what's that other game? 1886. Battlefront. You know, it's right up there with all those games. It's a very beautiful game. It runs pretty good. The main character was very interesting, Aloy. Uh, the entire game was it's pretty good. I mean, I just didn't like it as much as everyone else did. I felt like there was too many open spaces that just it was just open spaces for open spaces sake. It was an open world. It was an empty open world. That's what I'm trying to say. And some of the side quests weren't as interesting as I would have liked it to be. It was just a lot of things that kind of helped for me. There were a lot of things that this game did that kind of held it back from being like this amazing 9 out of 10 game that a lot of people think it is. But it's definitely an 8 out of 10 for me though. But yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn, that's got to be at my number 7 slot. So coming in at number 6, and this might surprise you guys. It might surprise some of you guys because it's a remaster. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. Now, I know some people might be a little confused as to why a remaster is on this list, and for those of you guys who might be confused out there, let's see. We got PUBG as Game of the Year in the Game Awards, and I'm pretty sure IGN and GameSpot's gonna do that on their Game of the Year list or nominees or whatever. So if they're allowed to do that, then I'm allowed to have a remaster on the list. So Crash Bandicoot, I love that game growing up. I never got to play the first game, but I played Crash Bandicoot 2 and 3 growing up, and I thought that this was a very faithful remaster. It doesn't look as good as it obviously could have looked coming on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, but it looks a lot, of course it looks way better than what it used to look like. And while there are some issues with like the platforming and stuff, they kind of mess with the physics and stuff. So like the jumping is kind of hard to kind of judge your jumping. I would say that this is probably like platformer of the year, but I can't really give it to this game. To be honest, I'd have to probably give it to Mario Odyssey. As much as I hate to give that game some credit, I don't really know any other platformer that was like really amazing this year, so I would have to give it to that game. But Crash Bandicoot, it feels like the development team really actually gave a crap about Crash Bandicoot, and I'm actually surprised that Activision actually, allowed them to put out something that was decent. After that whole Tony Hawk thing, after Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5, I wasn't really expecting this remaster to be anything. But yeah, this game was pretty good, and I still gotta beat the third game. I beat the second game over. Now I gotta beat the third game. I gotta go back and beat the first one. But yeah, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. I think it's a pretty good platformer. Well, it's good. It's a good update, I guess you can say. It's not best platformer of the year or anything like that. It's not the best platformer of the year, and there's some issues with it, but I had fun with it. Coming in at what number we're on? Number 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yeah, nah, coming in at number 6. I'm kind of losing count here. Coming in at number 6 is Hellblade. So this game, and for those of you guys who've been on my channel long enough, y'all already know, not a big fan of indie games at all. I'm not. But you know what? This is the best indie game ever made. It was developed by Ninja Theory, and Hellblade. The story was amazing. The combat is something that I'm already seeing, just judging off of that little bit of gameplay that we saw for God of War a few weeks ago. It seems like they were very influenced. It seemed like they were very influenced by Hellblade. That whole thing where the voices in her head is basically trying to help you out during combat, telling you to dodge and look behind you and stuff like that. It seemed like God of War kind of took from that game, and I'm kind of glad that God of War is doing that. Hellblade's combat was good, and its story was interesting, and its character was fun. Well, not, I can't. Yeah, fun. Fun is not the right word. fun is definitely not the right word with this game, because it does kind of deals with mental illness, and I thought that was an interesting concept for the entire game, and for the character to be struggling with that. And I love the story in this game. I love the combat. The only thing I did not like about this game was the puzzles, and it is kind of a walking simulator, so that is something that I just had to accept, because it's kind of a lower tier. It's kind of lower tier, lower budget game. So I kind of had to accept that it is a walking simulator game. But I still enjoyed it, because it's probably the best walking simulator around. Because here's the thing: there's actual gameplay in there. There's combat, and there's a story going on that's actually, you know, it kind of, I don't want to say that it rivals triple A, cutscenes, triple A uh, story narration, but there's a bit of a story that you can follow with this game, and I definitely like that. And like I said, I've said this, and I apologize for repeating myself, but man, the combat in this game, especially if you play this game with headphones on, and you hear the voices, you can hear the voices that are like in the main character's head. It's very gratifying to just kill all of these enemies in this game. It's a very fun game, and I'm glad that I spent $30 on it. So coming in at number 5. Hopefully I'm getting these numbers right. I forgot to number this list on the screen that I'm looking at right now, so I apologize. Uh, Coming in at number 5 is Injustice 2. Now, Injustice 2, I love the first Injustice game. Injustice 2 is Fighter of the Year to me. Um, Definitely after playing Marvel vs. Capcom, that crap was garbage. Injustice 2, amazing story mode that actually has a level of replayability, and that you can choose to do different things. You can choose to basically, they give you these decisions throughout the story as to who you want to play as, and who you're gonna fight and stuff like that. There's a lot of replayability in this game, and then there's the whole thing with unlocking costume parts and stuff. You get to change the outfit of your characters and stuff. The only reason why I'm not still playing that game is just the fact the whole loot box system is really, really annoying. I mean, they don't. I feel like they do kind of push it in your face to, like, that this developer definitely wants to try to get money out of people. They're looking for their great whale. They're looking for their whale. They're that idiot out there that spends $1,000 on in-game stuff. They're looking for somebody like that, and I feel like that whole loot box system is the reason why I kind of stopped playing the game. It feels so dirty. But other than the whole loot box system in this game, like, if you ignore that, the combat in this game, the mechanics are pretty good. Just like with every NetherRealm Studio game, it does feel like Mortal Kombat a lot, and I like the new Mortal Kombat games, and I like the first Injustice, so I like this one. Definitely, if you're looking for a fighting game, you can't go wrong with Injustice 2. The Evil Within 2 is going to be my number 3 game. I'm definitely screwing up this list. But who cares? The Evil Within 2, best survival horror game of the year, best survival horror game in a long freaking time. We've been waiting for an Evil Within sequel for a while, and this definitely didn't disappoint. I spent a lot of hours in this game, and it is definitely a horror game to the fullest. There's definitely some legit moments. I don't know about you. I don't know about anybody who's ever, I don't know about everybody else, but there's definitely a lot of legit scary moments in this game. And I'm someone that can, like, sit through horror movies and stuff, and I'll say that it's not scary and stuff, but there's some really legit terrifying psychological moments in this game. And there's an actual, like, something I will say to this game's credit is the fact that it is more comprehensible than the first game. The story is a lot better. You can understand it a lot more than the first Evil Within game. It's still trippy. It's still, psychological horror, but it's a lot more understandable. And the combat in this game is pretty good. The only thing I did not like is just like the aiming. I feel like the aiming, especially with the pistol, the aiming is just, oh my god, the hit detection. There's a few issues with this game that keeps it back and keeps it at this number 3 slot on my list. But Evil Within, pretty good horror game, and I enjoyed it. Spent a lot of hours into it. At number 2, we got Dishonored, Death of the Outsider. I don't even think I need to really say much about this. I mean, yeah, it is. It isn't a full game technically. I mean, it's kind of an expansion, kind of like the Uncharted Lost Legacy thing. But I enjoyed this. I definitely enjoyed this DLC. If you liked Dishonored 1, Dishonored 2, definitely consider picking it up. Dishonored is one of the best stealth games ever made, and I really encourage anyone who hasn't played the series yet to check this game out and check the other games out, because apparently that these Dishonored games and really a lot of Bethesda games aren't selling well, and so we need to kind of support them. But yeah, this is definitely a great stealth game. That's all I can really say about it. And my number 1 game of this year, y'all already know, I've said it before, it's Prey. It's the most underrated game of this year. And honestly, if you like BioShock, System Shock, Dishonored, any type of immersive sim game, I mean, this game is amazing. I've spent almost, I want to say, 80 hours in this game. I really do plan on playing it again by the end of the year, or hopefully next year, hopefully when I get some time. Definitely pick up Prey if you haven't played it. There's a lot of people who have put down this game who haven't really, given it a fair shot. I'd say just give it a few hours. Give it a few hours, let it pick up. This game really delivers on that whole promise that a lot of developers say, that you can tackle certain things the way that you want to tackle it. You can go anywhere and kind of just get immersed in this environment, in the story and everything. It really is one of those games that really does fulfill its promises, and I don't really see a lot of people's issues with the game. I mean, this game is nearly perfect to me. The only thing that I can say about this game is that there is this point in the story that you're going through different sections, and there's loading screens, and there's a bit of a wait there. There's a bit of a wait on those loading screens, but other than that, this game is solid, and I thought that it was the best game that I played this year. So thank you guys for listening to this video. Like the video, subscribe. Let me know what you guys. Let me know what your top 10 games of 2017 is. Put it down in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. This has been a Nier Automata. I'm out of here. Peace.